Hello, I'm Chris Rogers. I am your principal. And this feels as strange to me as it probably does to you. Normally, we would invite you into the school and we would welcome our families of our grade 8 students. I know some families have students here already, but welcoming our grade 8 students with their families to talk about coming into grade 9 for the fall. And we would meet in person and we would have a conversation. But given our current COVID-19 situation where there are no students in school and we're all doing social distancing and we're in our homes, we're attempting to bring this video to you to try and capture some of what we would share in that parent information night. Now, you would have gotten this video as a link from our webpage, which has a whole bunch of documents in it. I will be referring to some of those documents in this presentation. You also have the presentation as a part of that package, and you can go through it any time. I also realize that just listening to me talk for what we hope is about 15 minutes, although you will get a bit of a break as our assistant principal Hans Holthaus jumps in to give you a little bit of break in my talking and to share some of these concepts with you as well. We know that listening to us just talking heads, even though through the magic of green screen, Mr. Simonton is going to put the slideshow here, that could be a bit monotonous. So what we will have for you is a breakdown of the key parts of the video. So where we talk about options will be at X number of minutes, and where we talk about basic school rules, X number of minutes. So if you just want to scrub through the video to get to the parts that you want to see without having to listen to the whole thing, go for it. I won't know and I won't be offended. So hopefully we will get through this in a reasonable manner. So let's give this a try. So we would normally start off with welcome. So welcome to our families, and we're excited to have you, your children, come and be a part of our school and join us in grade 9. So the first thing that we see here is kind of what the 4 pillars are that we base our schooling on here in the school. And it's not just about academics. We have academics, attitude, artistry, and athletics. We're talking about the 4 pillars. It's not just about coming in and learning what you can get from a book or what you can get from a social class. There's so much more to be learned by being in school. There are clubs, there are groups, there are activities, there are complementary courses, there's sports, there's fine arts, there's so much to do. And we encourage our students to become involved in all aspects of school life while they're here, because you're going to be with us for 4 years. You know, we say to our students, be curious, take smart risks, explore the rich variety of learning experiences, become involved in the school community. For both our students and our parents, it's critical that you stay informed. There's a lot of things going on. As you can see, even from this course sign-up, we've given you a list of documents and forms to sign so that you can make informed choices about what's the best education for your son or daughter. So here's a list of things we have of ways for you to stay informed. It's our role to communicate what's going on in the school and to share with you what's happening with your son or daughter. But it's also your role and responsibility to stay informed. Communication is back and forth. So please find some way that works best for you and your family to stay informed. Certainly we send out a weekly newsletter, but we have our school website, always a great place to start. But as you can see, we've listed a whole bunch of different ways in which you can stay informed that fits your lifestyle. But the responsibility for both our students and our parents is to take part in that communication and be informed. So as we start communicating what it is we're doing at the school and what we value, we have a list here of, and I won't read them all because you can see them on the slide behind me and you can read through them, but we value respect and caring, integrity. So we're talking about academic integrity, we're talking about integrity in terms of honesty, accountability, trustworthiness, and we value the learning process. There's lots of different ways students learn, and we want to respect that. Communication, I've spoken to it. Communication involves active listening, sharing information in a timely manner, and seeking to understand with an open mind. So what we invite our parents and our students is, if something doesn't make sense, please ask questions. Ask of your teacher, come and ask of somebody in admin, ask our counselor, ask somebody at school. We don't know what you're thinking. We're doing the best we can to communicate. If what we're saying doesn't make sense, please come ask questions, and we'll try and explain it in a way that's more clear. That's our responsibility. Your responsibility is to ask us questions if you don't understand. Our responsibility then is to try and do the best we can to answer those questions. Another value of ours is acknowledgement, giving credit where credit's due. So in 2020-21, coming up, normally we would have in the spring right now, we would have our grade 8s come here, we'd do a tour, and they would get to meet their teachers, get to see the school, we would talk about the classes that we have, and we would then share that with you and would have this information night as a follow-up. Unfortunately, that's not happening this year, so we will try and have some kind of tour for our grade 9s when they show up in August. That will look different for us because we've not done that before, but we're living in a time where we're doing everything different at the moment, so I'm sure we'll work that out. What we do have is course selection forms for you, and this is a part of the package that you've been given, and we ask that those forms be returned by May 4th of 2020, so that's this year. And we will use those course selections to create a schedule for our students for the coming school year. What courses do you need to take? Well, if you're in our French immersion stream, you need to take English language arts and French language arts. You need to take social studies, and you need to take STEM. And STEM is combining science and mathematics together. Physical education and health technology. Those are core courses that you need. If you're a non-immersion student, you need similar core courses. You don't have the French language arts, but all the rest are the same. Humanities, which is English language arts and social studies together, STEM, phys ed, and health technology. On top of that, students have the opportunity to select some complementary courses, or sometimes called option courses. And so these are courses that students can choose. So right now I'm going to ask Mr. Holthouse, our assistant principal, to step in and just speak a little bit about what options are here and how that looks different for French immersion students as opposed to non-immersion students. So without further ado, I will step out of frame, keeping social distancing in mind, and having Mr. Holthouse take over to speak a little bit about options.
Hello. So grade 9 options. Grade 9 options have a number of different forms. One form is that the option will extend for the length of a full semester. So that means from September to January or from February until June. Those are full semester options, such as French as a second language, and music. We also have what are called quarter courses or quarter options, and those run for half the length of a semester, so a quarter of a full year. And so those are placed at various points, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and that can then take the form of art, drama, CTF 9, Career Technology Foundations 9, which is woodworking, foods, mechanics, outdoor education 9, and makerspace 9. More description of that will accompany in links that will be provided for you, so you can get an idea exactly what each of those different options look like. So the timetable is a little bit different for French immersion students and for English program students, and I'll explain a little bit of what that looks like. We have 2 semesters. The fall semester goes, as I said, from September until January, and from February until June. February and June until June is called a winter semester. And as you can see from the slide that you're looking at right now, CCHS timetable, that in general, there are 4 classes that people take each day. And that does not change Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The first block is divided into phys ed and health. That is, each half is about 45 minutes and roughly about an hour and a half long for a full block. Typically, in years past, that has been in the first block of the day, phys ed and then health. For the other blocks, humanities would be in a block, then STEM would happen in another block, and then that last block of 90 minutes in each day, it would be an option. So that might be art, for example, or it might be drama. And so for the length of that first quarter, from September until about November, you will have or the potential for an option. And then from November until January, you would have the potential for another option. If you choose music or French in the English program, as, for example, if French as a second language, that would extend the length of that whole semester. So rather than having 2 options, you would have 1 option. In the second semester for the English program, you would also have the chance to be able to do either 1 or 2 options. What that looks like will be more clear once we are able to create the timetable. What you can do when you are requesting courses is just request those courses that you'd like, and then we can figure out which semesters those will fall into. For French immersion has the, not only French language arts, but it also has English language arts. And so that French language arts will take the place of 1 or 2 option classes. So really, for French immersion students, they typically have either a full semester option or 2 half semester options. So perhaps art and drama, or mechanics and foods. And so if you were in the French immersion program, on your Google form that you would fill in I'm a French immersion student, and then you would choose your top choices for the other options that you would be interested in. And this is what then it would look like. You would have an integrated STEM class with math and science, but you would also have French language arts social and English language arts separated. How to choose those option classes. So what we've put together new for this year is a Google form that will walk you through the choices that you have for those options. You would indicate whether you're a French immersion student or not, and then you would also scan through the list of option classes, and you would provide your top choices. And the Google form will guide you through that. If you have any questions, you certainly feel free to contact Mr. Rogers and myself. And I will talk about the high school. What about high school? So grade 9 is an important year for preparing for high school. And how you do in those classes in grade 9 will set you up for what programs you might have the option to choose from in grade 10. Generally, we have recommended in years past that 70% in your grade 9 classes is a good indicator of how you will do in the -1 stream in grade 10, 11, and 12, which is typically the stream that people, if they're interested in applying for college, many college programs and university programs, that would provide you the most flexibility. If you are below that 70% yet still passing, then we would provide recommendations for you for further on into high school. In addition to course completion and marks, you also are required to have volunteer hours. And volunteer hours means 25 hours of volunteering in the community before you finish your grade 12 year, and that allows you to be able to participate in our high school cap and gown ceremony in grade 12. So it's a good idea to start collecting those hours in grade 9. Really what Mr. Rogers had mentioned to you before, but this is a time for you to be able to get connected with your school and become a part of your school. So being involved in all those different activities that are a part of our school, whether it's Green Club, whether it's music, taking part in band or jazz, school council, being involved in yearbook, athletics, and all the different clubs that exist is really available for you, and it's a time for you to be able to take a risk and join in. And now I'll give you back to Mr. Rogers to be able to talk about how to stay involved.
All right, I brought a little friend. Baby Groot. One of the, something made by some of our students in our makerspace. So even though we're kind of formal here, we have a lot of fun. So just wrapping things up, we just want to remind families that communication is important. You need to stay involved in the lives of your son and daughter as they come to Canmore Collegiate, as they are here for the 4 years. I know what we tend to see is that once our students get to the high school, parents want to kind of back off. We certainly see our teenagers pushing back a little bit for parents to back off, and that's reasonable in the sense that they're becoming young men and women and they want their space. But really, as they go through these 4 years, they need your love and support and encouragement more than ever. And so while they're doing what they're doing by pushing back a little bit, becoming their own person, it's still our job as parents to stay involved, to stay connected, to show that we care. And so we encourage you to stay involved in the life of your student during their time at CCHS. Come join us at Parent Council, speak to your teacher, come talk to us when we have events that are going on. You're always welcome to connect with us with an email or a phone call or a visit. We're happy to see you. We want you to be involved as a part of the school. So as I wrap this up, we have a lot of information that's here. We know this is an unusual way in which we are setting you up to get started with your time here at CCHS. And we'll have an FAQ, a frequent answer and question page for you as well. And as people send us emails, please feel free to send emails to us. We will try the best we can to answer those questions and have you set up for success. And please look for the welcome that we will have, an open night welcome in September, where we can hopefully meet in person and we can answer any questions that you might have. So just in signing off, please feel free to send me an email, chris.rogers@crps.ca or hans.holthouse@crps.ca. We want to hear from you. We're excited to have you join us. Thank you very much.